This is BBC News with the latest business headlines for viewers in the UK and around the world. It couldn't happen at a worse time. The cold transport of food and pharmaceuticals gets hit by a double whammy of rising costs and living and widespread strikes in the UK at its busiest time of the year. Let's try and try again. The EU reconvenes to try to reach an agreement on a price cap on Russian gas. Plus, a Chinese conglomerate has big ambitions for Lanvin. The Lanvin Group. We take a look at Fosun International's plans for the French fashion house. Well, inflation and the rising cost of living is hitting many road freight businesses, which are already operating on very thin profit margins, and now strike action is affecting rail haulage on top of recent supply chain issues and staff shortages. It is proving to be a perfect storm for the sector. Christmas is usually the busiest time of the year, with an increase in food and products being transported for the festive period. But with rising interest rates and the risk of recession, firms are now bracing themselves for a major slowdown in 2023. Well, joining me now is Shane Brennan, CEO of the Cold Chain Federation. What a year, Shane. There's been a severe lack of drivers affecting your industry, problems recruiting, of course, the road haulage in the road haulage industry, and the pandemic demand throwing things the other way. How are logistic firms coping with planning around these strikes?
It's definitely a difficult time. I mean, the direct impacts aren't that great. We don't move a lot of goods by rail, for example. But when it comes to the secondary impacts, people getting to work is more of a challenge. But mainly that general sense of economic malaise, that sort of downbeat nature of this run into Christmas is a real concern. We're not seeing the same volumes in the last couple of weeks that we would have hoped for going into this Christmas period. Particularly because this is meant to be your busiest time of year. Are you getting any of that Christmas boost? We certainly, most of our customers, or a lot of our customers, really rely on that Christmas period for their sales. And so we really gear ourselves up through the year to be as busy as we can at this time of year. And certainly the volumes are up. And it does always feel like it gets later and later. And certainly this week, this today through to Saturday is the last push. And we'll expect a large volume at that point. But there is that general worry in the background that we're not as busy as we would normally be in other years. And also difficult looking ahead to next year. Now, of course, you're a cold storage company, so your energy bill goes up in the summer. How confident are you that you're going to get extra government support that you've been asking for? We're very concerned. I think probably our message is all we really want for Christmas is reassurance that we're going to get that support beyond the end of next March. We don't see the support suddenly turn off as might be the case, because, you know, whilst it is really important to have energy continue through the winter, actually in the summer and the spring and summer, we see our cold chain really needing that energy support, and we're really concerned that that might be the biggest concern area of all. Yeah, so that's for your energy bills beyond April, of course. And finally, do you feel that demand is weakening, or that your industry is deciding to slow down kind of in anticipation of the recession? Are either of those two things standing out? We react to our customers, and I think that we are sort of definitely feeling that these high cost levels across the board are leading to less food being produced, customers scaling back their ambitions and starting to sort of trying to control for those costs, and that has an impact through the supply chain. And it's certainly it's easy practically to scale down, but it's much harder and much more worrying from a financial point of view that you'll see the volumes go down, and that's a major concern for supply chain businesses. All right, Shane Brennan, the CEO of the Cold Chain Federation. Thank you so much for joining us.